Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Hope y'all are having a fantastic evening. I am so beyond excited right now. It's actually happening. Long awaited, much hyped, and finally for reals happening. I apologize for the brief delay getting started. I was still getting, everything set up and functioning. And if you'll bear with me just one moment, putting the finishing touches on things. Making sure that I've got everything set up correctly. Let me go ahead and, there we go. All right. All right, almost ready. I was definitely prepared for this, can you tell? Just had some last minute things to take care of. All right, so who's ready for the world's biggest walk down both memory lane and introduction to me as a person? Well, without further ado, I think I've kept y'all waiting long enough. Let's get started, shall we? So, welcome to the tabletop, and welcome to my hand reveal. So, to get started, I think the first thing I should start with, right? Because we're going to go through this one at a time, and we have a lot to get through. Like, a lot to get through. But what we should definitely start with is this one. So this right here, this little fella. Yeah, so I put a lot of thought into the set that I wanted. So I have, the gyroids with the flags and whatnot. But I want to start with this little fella because, thank you, Larry. I appreciate that. So I want to start with this little fella because this plushie, I personally don't consider as part of my collection. And I know that sounds a little bit strange. Like, why am I showing it to you then if it's not part of my collection? Well, when I was a very young child, like a little, like tiny baby creature, right? My brother and I, we're about 6 years apart, had this big bin, this very large bin, full of plushies, right? Like a whole bunch of them. Also, let me know. Let me know if the audio levels are good. I'm still like making sure everything works and whatnot. But thank you, Larry. Oh no, don't worry. It hasn't been rejected. It's got its own. All right, good. The audio is fine. It has its own story. So when my brother and I were children, we had this very large bin that we had a lot of stuffed animals in, and this little fella, his name is Raccoon. He was my favorite. He's still my favorite. I wish I had my brother's favorite. I wish I had Rex. But I dug through that bin so long, he's not in there. I think my brother has him, because he was my brother's favorite. I think my brother has him. I don't know. But this was I wanted to have them side by side, but this one was my favorite for the longest time. He is part of something that we called the Fluff Club, which is the dorkiest name in the world, but that's what we called them. He was part of the Fluff Club. That slowly grew over time as we were children. We would gain more plushies, and they would have their own personalities, their own gimmicks. Uh-oh, let me turn that on real quick. But they would have their own personalities, their own gimmicks, their own stories. We had like an entire like little city that they lived in. They had a culture almost. They would have we used these characters for literally years. Like so long, to the point where they became ingrained in both mine and his identities almost. Like, the Fluff Club was our childhood, to the point where it broke my heart when I first learned, or when I first determined that I was too old to really be playing with them anymore. And it hurt. It really did. I know that, like, you're never too old to play with plushies, but I was, like, a teenager and going through my, like, angsty teenager, oh, everything sucks phase. But this one was always my favorite, and I used to play with my brother a lot. We had, like, who was allowed to play with what character and at what time. Like, it was a lot. So that said, the Fluff Club, I have them right now, because my family was recently cleaning out and got rid of them, or was getting rid of them. And I could not let them throw the Fluff Club out. I could not. The Fluff Club was literally my childhood. So, Raccoon here is kind of my stand-in for the rest of the Fluff Club. He's their representative. Because the Fluff Club, I believe, is separate from my personal collection. So, I still have them, and I still take care of them, because I'm not letting this piece of my childhood go. If someday I have kids of my own, the Fluff Club is getting passed down to them. It's that important to me. I cannot stress how much time, effort, and just emotion that my brother and I poured into these little guys. So, Raccoon here is our Fluff Club stand-in, and that's kind of a good place to start, I think, is explaining why they're not going to be part of this collection, but that... And it was a very mismatched collection, too. We had a whole bunch of different kinds of plushies. There were some Beanie Babies in there, some promotional stuff from other events that we liked, It was just a very mismatched smattering of different dolls and plushies that we really enjoyed. We had, like, action figures that we used to represent me and him. Like, when it was a lot. And, yeah, this little guy is, even after all these years, he's still my favorite. So... say goodbye, Raccoon. I'm actually getting emotional just messing with this. I'm like... Also, Drill and Serpy, it's wonderful to see you. Thank you so much for being here. But yes, so this is Raccoon, and the Fluff Club will not be joining us for this stream, but I love them still the same. So, now for the reason we're here. Also, before I get started, let's talk about bootlegs. Great place to start. So, before I dive into this, I want to point out that as I was collecting a lot of these earlier, I was young, buying on Amazon, and not really caring about what I was getting or when. I would always just kind of buy whatever character I wanted. Thank you, Serpy. But I always just kind of buy whatever character I wanted without really caring where it came from or how legit it was. So I ended up with a couple bootlegs because I was young and naive. I can't ever support the purchasing of bootlegs because they're bootlegs, but I also kind of believe that if you're like buying for yourself, go wild, sis. Like, don't worry about it. So, let me adjust my light a little bit. There's going to be a little bit of glare. Hope that's okay. But, you know, give it a little bit more light. So yeah, so there's going to be a couple bootlegs, and I'm going to point out which ones are bootlegs, and we're just going to have to deal with that together. So, where to begin, where to begin? You know what, we'll start with one that definitely isn't a bootleg. This is Bob Ross. I forget exactly where I found this one. It was, I think, a promotion from a random-ass website. I think I saw it on Twitter, I don't remember. But this was a long time ago, and there was a limited run of these. So, I saw the Bob Ross plushie, and at the time... Thank you so much for the support, Larry, I really appreciate it. But at the time, my family was big into watching The Joy of Painting. Happy Little Dolls, exactly. We were watching The Joy of Painting a lot. It was something that we would sat down and watch while we ate dinner for a couple weeks, I think. Probably a couple months, actually. So I have this little Bob Ross here that I couldn't not. So I picked him up. It was an impulse buy. I don't remember what website it's from. If I remember what website that I bought these from, I'll be sure to point it out. And, like, you know, a lot of these are from Amazon. Let's be honest. A lot of them are from Amazon. But this one right here is just from a proprietary website that I forget where I got it from. But this is Bob Ross. So he will lead off the charge. I'm slowly realizing that I have my box here, but I don't have a box to put the ones I've already looked at. And I don't want to put them on... I'm going to put them on the floor. I'm just going to have to put them on the floor. I apologize, everybody. You're going on the floor. Ooh, alright. I want to talk about this one next. So, there are no mistakes, only dolls. Exactly. See, Larry, I love you. But if I put them all in the background, there's not going to be any table left. That's how much of a collection we have to get through. This box is full. And there's more boxes. So, believe me, we're going to be here for a little while. Heart, I love that you said both Powerpuff Girls, except the one this is. That is so funny. But no, the reason this one's significant is, first of all, it's from the 2016 reboot. Will it focus? Can it focus? Yeah. It's from the 2016 reboot. But that doesn't really matter to me, because we don't talk about the 2016 reboot. We don't like 2016 reboot. But it's still a Powerpuff Girl, and I still liked it. This is Blossom. I'm disappointed in all of you. This is the best one. This is Blossom, who is the objectively best Powerpuff Girl, and I won't hear otherwise. Because Blossom is the best one. But yeah, so this is from the 2016 reboot. But I just was happy to have a Powerpuff Girls plushie. I don't have Bubbles and Buttercup. The reason that I don't, and this is the fun fact about this one, I won her from a Crane game. A legitimate, honest-to-goodness, scam-as-fuck Crane game. I won this out of it. And because I won this on my first try in that game, I then went back to try to win the other two, because I wanted the Blossom and the Bubbles and the Buttercup to go with it. Could not win it again. Wasted another, I think, $20 in that machine. But, you know, it was unfortunate. But this was a legitimate Crane game prize. So, very proud of this one. Even though I know those Crane games are all rigged. I know that it's like it randomly decided to give it to me just so that the game isn't a total scam. But I did win this off a Crane game, and I'm very happy about it. We were just at a random arcade one day, and I'm like, yes, Crane game is 75 cents. Let me see if I can... Oh, shit, a Blossom plushie. So, you know. But this is the best one, and I won't hear otherwise, because this is the best one. So, there we go, Blossom. Alright. So, some of you might be familiar with Nendoroids. And if you are, then you'll probably recognize this general brand of plushie, because they all look fairly similar. But this is a Nendoroid plushie. I love Nendoroids to pieces, because, like, they're very, very well made, and they're all articulated. Like, this plushie has a skeleton and is posable. See? Like, she's completely posable. Even the hair. So Nendoroids, I think, are very high quality, and this is a legitimate Nendoroid, I believe. I'm like 90% sure. I got this off Amazon, so I can't really vouch for anything. Also, this was during my like beginning phase when I was taking the tags off of these plushies, which I know I shouldn't do. This is not Sailor Moon, actually. This is from another anime called Lyrical Nanoha. This is Nanoha. And Nanoha, I never actually finished the anime, and I need to, because Nanoha it's in the same genre. It's another magical girl anime. The difference is that Nanoha was very popular with, like, a lot of people that magical girl animes generally aren't popular with. Because Nanoha was basically a mecha series. Like, it was basically Gundam, but with, like, ladies shooting lasers instead of giant robots shooting lasers. Like, I've seen clips from some of the later episodes of Nanoha, and they get pretty intense. This show is borderline Dragon Ball. It's Dragon Ball for girls, basically. So, I need to go back and finish the anime, but because of all of these different facts, I'm a big fan of Nanoha. Also, I wish I remembered the name of the staff, because her staff does have a name, but it's removable. It can, you know, come off. It's its own thing. So, it attaches via magnet. The Nendoroid Toho plushies are good. Oh, don't worry. We'll get to those. So this is Nanoha. And Nanoha I am going to put up here, because the ones that go together I'm going to put on screen at the same time. Because we also have Fate, who is Nanoha's rival, and who is also articulated. Another legitimate Nendoroid, I believe. So, I know their staffs have names. I wish I remembered the names of their staffs, because the staffs have, like, cool names. But another removable magnet staff, so you can leave that there. Some of these are dusty. Ah! Oh no! Wow. Live on stream. Her belt buckle came off. I'm gonna have to reattach that. Oh no. Welp. Live on stream. That's unfortunate. Okay, well I know I have to repair this one then, that's sad. But we also have Fate. Another legitimate Nendoroid. Another verse from Amazon. So, watching it break live on stream. I'm sorry, Fate. I'll take better care of you. I'm sorry. But I think Fate's everyone's favorite character because, like, she's a classic example of the dark magical girl. And she's, like, I believe her story is a redemption story. I'm not sure. I don't think I got that far in the anime. I didn't get very far in that anime. And also, to wrap things up, we have Nanoha but casual. And I picked this one up mostly because it was just so goddamn adorable that I purchased it immediately. Like, I just could not exist without this plushie in my collection because it is so fucking cute. Like, her outfit is incredible. I love everything about this one. Another legitimate Nendoroid, just from Amazon. And it's crazy that I have not finished the Nanoha anime. I haven't even gotten that far. And I have 3 different Nanoha plushes. So, but yeah, I have Nanoha in her magical girl form and Nanoha in her casual form. So, that's fun. Big fan of that. Alright, so we'll move the Nanoha plushes out of the way. There we go. And while we're sticking with Nendoroids, let's go ahead and move on to Miku, everyone's favorite. Everyone loves Miku. Hang on just a second. I gotta... There we go. Alright. Everyone loves Mai Hatsune, I believe is her name. So, everyone's favorite idol, Mai Hatsune, who also has posable everything. Again, just another one on Amazon. I have interesting stories for some of these, but most of them really do just kind of dial down to I saw it on Amazon, loved it, and bought it. So, but I needed a Miku. I can't. No anime plushie collection is like complete without a Miku. I don't think. Also, her hair can do this. Hang on. Yeah, her hair can do this. You see it better on the. Her hair can do this. I probably shouldn't flash you with. Oops. Anyways, so this is Miku. Everyone loves Miku. So. And again, another legitimate Nendoroid, another, what's it called? Articulated one. Very high quality. Love Nendoroids. I think Nendoroid is a very good quality one, but they tend to be more expensive. Great Eastern is another one that's very good, and I think there's another one that I get a lot of my anime plushes from, but we have a Miku. Have to have a Miku. I want a Luca, because Luca's my favorite Vocaloid, and if anybody has anything to say about that, you're wrong and stupid. But Luca's my favorite Vocaloid, so I want a Luca plushie. I don't have one yet, but I am going to get one at some point. So, now we get into one that's very interesting, because while we're on the theme of Vocaloids, I want to talk about this next one, because as a result of me being young and stupid, some people might not recognize this, but this character's name is Akita Neru. I might be mispronouncing that, but it's Akita Neru. If you're into Vocaloids, you know who this is. If you're not into Vocaloids, you probably don't. But Neru is, I think, either a misspelling or a mistranslation of Miku that became a meme, and the community ran with it, gave it a character design, and then she got a Vocaloid voice. So Neru is like a legitimate Vocaloid character with her own voice that's like a spin-off of Miku almost. But what's interesting about this one, she was another Amazon find, because, again, I just bought a lot of plushies on Amazon because I wanted them. I don't know if this is a bootleg or not. I genuinely could not tell you. Because, again, I don't know if, like, I don't know. When I was a kid, like I said, I was removing all of the tags because I had this, like, weird thing in my head where, like, oh, I'm never going to sell these. They're mine forever. No one will ever have my dolls. But I shouldn't have done that. I should be preserving them as best I can, so including the tags. So since then, anything that I keep the tags on is, you'll notice, as something I bought after my collection really started to get going. But while I was just buying plushes, is this sponsored by Amazon? Fuck no! Don't buy things on Amazon. Amazon's terrible. Buy things from local retailers and small business that require your business significantly more. Amazon is shit. That said, I bought most of these on Amazon. But anyways, I don't know if this is a bootleg or not. Because I don't have the tags, I don't even know if this came with a tag. I'm not gonna lie. I genuinely am not sure. She looks almost like an Endoroid, but she's a bit bigger, as you can see. She's not articulated in any way. Doesn't have any of that. The eyes are different. If you look at Miku, she has solid color eyes, whereas Neru has these little sewn highlights in here. It's weird. Like, but it's also too high quality to be a bootleg. Like, it's very well sewn. It's got, all of the patterns look correct. Everything looks fine. It looks like the character. The hair is well stitched and looks right. I mean, if this is a bootleg, it's a very high quality bootleg. Also, Larry makes a very good point. Buy directly from Japanese sellers if you want Japanese plushies, because you're actually buying directly from the seller at that point. It might be a little more expensive, and they might charge you more for shipping, but they buy from retailers. So I don't know if this is a bootleg or not, and I will never remember because I don't have the tag. I threw it away because I was a stupid kid. So, but she is by far, if she's a bootleg, she's the highest quality bootleg I've ever seen. And if she's not a bootleg, then she's just not a bootleg, and I don't know what brand she is. So, but yeah, that's Neru. This next one isn't really a Vocaloid, and I don't remember what brand. Oh, but she has her tag! Excellent. Excellent. Okay, she does have her tag. And it's entirely in Japanese. Of course it is. Okay, yeah, wow, her tag is entirely in Japanese, so I don't know what brand she is, but she does have her tag. So, again, not a Vocaloid, but Sonico. Now, I freely admit that I mostly bought this plushie because it was cute, and I know the character, even if I don't know much about the character. So I don't know too much about Sonico, but I do know that she exists, and I do know that she's popular. But I liked the plushie, so I ended up buying it. And I love Sonico's design. I've always loved Sonico's design. I'm a big fan of the pink hair. I'm a big fan of the outfit. The hoodie, by the way, is not only removable. Let me pull this down. There we go. And then here is the iconic Sonico headphones that she's always seen wearing. There we go. So there's that. Larry, thank you so much for the bits. I really appreciate it. It's always wonderful having you here. So we have the Sonico headphones. But also, the hoodie is completely removable. Yeah. There we go. Okay, you follow there. But completely removable, which I thought was nice. So, and I love her outfit. I think it's so cute. She's got her little necklace. Was there a charm around the necklace at some point? I don't think so, but I've always loved Sonico's design. Little Ugg boots. I think so. Yeah. She's got the. Yeah. No articulation in this one, and I don't know exactly what company this is, but here's the tag. So I did preserve this one. It is entirely in Japanese, as you can. Yeah, there you go. So I wish I knew what company this was, but it is official, near as I could tell. So, and before you say it's Nitro Plus, I believe is the company that owns the character, not necessarily this brand of plushie. So, I also don't think it's a gift. Gift doesn't seem right. But yeah, so this is Sonico. And I do apologize for how dusty all these are. I've had to keep them pretty much hung up in a closet. Not hung up, but like just up in a closet for a long time. Because ever since I got my doggy, as much as I do love my doggy to pieces, she does have a tendency to eat everything plush and soft in the house. So if I keep the plushies out somewhere that she can reach, then she will just absolutely destroy them. So I'm happy to buy my dog her own plushies to play with and eat and destroy. That's fine. But she can't destroy my dolls in my collection. That's not okay. So, in the interest of making sure that they're safe and protected, doggy cannot. So they've been in a closet for so long. But yeah, there's my Sonico plush. And it's another music-themed character. She's not a Vocaloid, I know. I don't even know if she has, like, music. Like I said, I don't know much about the character beyond she's cute. But I really like this. I know who it is. And I really liked the design. And this was a cute plushie with a removable hoodie, so there we go. Do I have more on this theme? No, I don't think so. Alright. So that'll be it for the musician plushies. There we go. Let's see. There's one in particular that I'm looking for that I don't think I... Oh, there it is. Found it. Okay. So, I'll have to double check the actual store that I bought this from, because I want to give credit for this because it's very high quality and it's since improved in quality even. I got an early version. But this is a small, handmade felt star butterfly. And I love it. 2 pieces. I got this off of Etsy. I don't even remember how I found it, but I got this little star butterfly from a felt shop. I think, if I remember correctly, the store is called Little Felt World, but I don't really remember. But yeah, this is a star butterfly from, if anybody don't know, it's from a Disney Channel show called Star vs. the Forces of Evil. This is the protagonist. Her name is Star Butterfly, and she is a magical princess from a different dimension, and is a little Hellraiser. And I saw on Etsy that someone was selling a little felt star butterfly and loved it to pieces and bought it immediately. So, very well made, very sturdy. Although I did hear on the website that, like, the neck is just kind of sewn on there, like it's just very flimsy. So I've been very careful with this one so far. I try not to handle this one too much because I've heard the neck seams can kind of come off just because of the way they're made. But I've been very careful with it so far. I've been trying to preserve it. So yeah, this is my star butterfly. Also, hello Niches. Welcome, welcome. Yes, hand reveal as fuck. Good to see you. You're just in time. We've been through the Nendoroids and the Vocaloid plushies as well as Bob Ross, and that's it so far. But this is my little felt star butterfly. This one I was excited to get to. Let's see. I might as well do this one next. This is a taco. When you stand up, please, you're on camera. This is a taco. I said everything. It's a taco. I found it in Walmart. Yeah, it's a Walmart. It's a Walmart plushie. So, behold taco. So, this is literally like, here's the problem, right? Because I have a plushie collection in the first place, like, whenever I see stuff like this that I like, I can't help but just impulse buy it. Like, I was literally, I don't even think I was grocery shopping. I think I was going to buy dog food. Like, I just needed dog food, and that's it. And on the way towards the checkout with the dog food, I found this in a random display, and almost subconsciously picked it up. Like, this was just an impulse buy. But I now have a taco. See? That is how they get you, exactly. So, behold taco. Is it a choco taco? I don't think so. It appears to be some form of ground beef. Or perhaps that's like Taco Bell mild sauce. But, you know, either way, he's happy to be here. He's, you know, he's got the shape. He's got the face of a friend. You know, I took one look at this taco and was like, this is a taco I can trust. Also, some people might be curious. A lot of plushies have these little hooks here and are meant to be like, they're meant to dangle off of backpacks or bags or anything like that. And I'm sure somebody's wondering, hey, do I ever have these plushies that I, you know, wear as keychains and stuff as I keep them with, you know, stuff? The answer is no. And the reason being, I don't have the best luck with taking plushies with me places. So I tend not to bring these places because if it's raining or something, I'm not okay with that. I really love seeing people who have these like little plushies with them on like their bags and stuff. I think that is so adorable, and I absolutely would, but I just don't want it to get damaged. Like, maybe I have too much collector's value in these. Maybe I'm like, I don't know, but this is taco. Is it time to talk about the Sailor Scouts? I mean, we should probably talk about the Sailor Scouts next. They're next on the list. They're at the top of the box. I can't avoid. We'll talk about the Sailor Scouts. So, let's see if I can't get them in a kind of order that makes sense. So, stick with me here. Sailor Moon, right? We have Sailor Moon. Sailor Mini Moon. Sailor Mars. Sailor Mercury. Oh, don't fall over me. Sailor Mercury. There we go. Let's see. Sailor Venus. If you think I don't have all the Sailor Scouts, you don't know me very well. Let's see. There she is. Sailor Jupiter. There we go. Sailor Neptune. I'm gonna start stacking them. Sailor Uranus. Sailor Saturn. And Sailor Pluto. If you think... What are you doing? Oh. Jupiter knocked over the companion cube. If you think that I don't have all the Sailor Scouts, you don't know me very well. So... let me double check what brand these are. Bandai, that's right. Okay. So, funny story about the Sailor Moon plushies. I searched high and low for Sailor Moon plushies that didn't look like shit. This is my call out to Great Eastern. Great Eastern, if you ever watch this, your Sailor Moon plushies look like shit. They're hideous. And it took me a long time to find like a Sailor Moon plushie, A, that like looked decent, and B, had like a decent looking of all of them as opposed to just Sailor Moon. Because there are a lot of plushies out there of just Sailor Moon that do look really good. I think there's a Sailor Moon Nendoroid even. But like, I wanted all the Sailor Scouts. And it took me so long to find an actual line of plushies that had all of them because I wanted all of them. So eventually, I stumbled on a random Japanese website that I don't remember the name of, but I stumbled across the Great Eastern plushies. and I think they look pretty great. They're extremely, they're chibi, they're very small, but I think they look fantastic. They're well stitched, they're very soft. They use a kind of, I don't want to call this velvet, but it almost feels like they're very high quality. And they have the Sailor Moon look without being hideous transferred into 3D. And they all have their tags still, which is how I knew it was Bandai. So, we have Sailor Jupiter. Oh, they all have their little, bow gems here. And all of them are unique. They all have different colors. You can see there's that one. Except Sailor Moon, notably, does not have one. And I'm very upset about that because, this was how I got it. This is a manufacturing defect. Or maybe it came off in packaging, I don't know. But this is a manufacturing defect, and I'm still very upset about that. Because this is the one that was important, people. This is the one that needed to be here, was this little, this little gem on this bow. But, But I still love them. I still think they were worth it, and I still love them to pieces. So we have all of them. I might as well show them one by one. So we have Sailor Moon here. The hair is a little bit awkward, but other than that, I think they look great. Stitched a little bit rough, but overall I'm very happy with these. And they weren't that expensive. I think I got all of them for about $100, which... No, I think I got it for more than that. But, the point is, these were cheap for, high quality, import plushies. So, very happy with Sailor Moon. I guess we'll go in show order. So, Mercury's next. Again, she's a Sailor Scout. I'm mostly going through these one by one as self-indulgence because I like Sailor Moon and I like all the Sailor Scouts. So, this one's got a little bit of weird stitching on the cheeks, but, Sailor Mercury, who is... I like most of the Sailor Scouts. I like most of the Sailor Scouts except for Sailor Moon herself. I don't know why. But also Sailor Mini Moon's kind of irritating. But... Sailor Mars. Oh, and they all have unique hairstyles, too. But... I thought they were all Sailor Moon like they're all Pokemon. Not quite, no. They're all Sailor Scouts. But Sailor Moon is... in fact, specifically, the reason they're named after planets is because in the lore of Sailor Moon, each world has its own kingdom. And each of the Sailor Scouts is a princess of her respective kingdom. Sailor Moon is the princess of the moon, Sailor Mars is the princess of Mars, Sailor Mercury is the princess of Mercury, etc. It was during the events of the lore of Sailor Moon where the Queen of the Moon, Queen Serenity, which I'm using the English names because that's what I grew up, and if you don't like that, you can just deal with it because her name is Serena, damn it. Her name is not Usagi, her name is Serena. But, words. So each one is a princess, and during the reign of Queen Serenity, after something called the Silver Millennium, which was essentially just this, 1,000 years of peace, this evil dark dimension, called... I think it's called something different all the time. It's a bunch of different people. But they showed up, and I think it was actually Queen Beryl. I'm pretty sure it was Queen Beryl who showed up and basically destroyed everything. So Queen Serenity, put everybody in a time bubble, shot them back in time, and left them on Earth. And said, grow up as human Japanese teenagers. And don't come back and don't fight this war until you're ready. So, they all ended up growing as a... Why are they called sailors? Actually, they're called sailors because of their uniforms. The Japanese sailor uniform is a fairly standard, school uniform there. And the uniforms of the Sailor Scouts are meant to be very, very stylized and very, very magic-y versions of the sailor uniform. So they're called Sailor Scouts. Lore-wise, I don't know, but design-wise, that's why. So they all have because they all have, they all have the back collar flap of the sailor uniform. So Japanese school uniforms in general are modeled after naval uniforms. So yeah, but yeah, I feel like I was going somewhere with what I was just saying and forgot. Oh, anyways, at the beginning, in fact, the first season of Sailor Moon is the search for the rest of the Sailor Scouts, which is when Luna, the cat, the black cat with the moon on her forehead. Anybody who watched Sailor Moon knows about, it's a black cat with a little upside-down crescent moon. Luna shows up looking for the Princess of the Moon and the other princesses of the solar system and restores their memories from back during this happens, back during when all this was happening, so that they can fight off the Mega Realm and do all this shit. So the Jupiter. Jupiter was my favorite for the longest time, and because she's Buttercup. Like, if you want a reference for Sailor Jupiter, she's Buttercup, like, through and through. Just a little bit more boy crazy. So Jupiter, another one I like. Her legs are a little, like, off-zone, but big fan. Who's next? Sailor Venus is the one that all the memes are about. Like, for whatever reason, I don't know why, but the fan base has really latched on to Sailor Venus as, like, the perfect, not even the perfect Sailor Scout, just the perfect human being. Like, she's just the pinnacle of humanity. Like, I don't know where this meme came from. I don't disagree. Like, she's pretty great, but, like, the internet considers Venus to be the pinnacle of humanity. So I don't know why, but, you know, I mean, she's alright. She's just, like, another flavor of Sailor Moon, to be honest, but I don't know. I like her. Alright, so those are the 5 main cast members. Those are the 5, like, actual Sailor Scouts that you would see in the regular television show. But then as the seasons progress, you meet more of them, including Sailor Mini Moon. Excuse me, Sailor Chibi Moon. And without spoiling too much, Sailor Chibi Moon is Sailor Moon's daughter from the future. Yes, there's time travel in this show. Don't question it. She's from the future and was sent back in time to save the future from the people who are in the past. It's very confusing. Although, funnily enough, the season where she's introduced is, to me, or the character, she's not Sailor Mini Moon in the beginning. She's just she's just like Sailor Moon's brat. But then she becomes Sailor Mini Moon in the next season. But the season where this character is introduced originally is, to me, the most interesting because it has the most interesting villains, at least in my opinion, because those villains are Prince Diamond and the Wise Man. And I like the Wise Man a lot because Sailor Moon is like the prototypical magical girl anime. She really defined the genre and therefore falls into a lot of the traps that, like, magical girl anime tends to, because, you know, she was the one that did it first. Excuse me for a minute. I have had water. So she kind of, like, laid all those traps, basically. So the villains in Sailor Moon have very, very simple motivations, but this season of Sailor Moon had at least something more interesting going on, because Prince Diamond was the villain of that arc, but Prince Diamond wasn't really in it to do evil. He wasn't really doing anything he thought was wrong. He's a Count Bleck type character in that instance, almost. But the Wise Man, who was his second in command, was the real mastermind who was manipulating him the whole time and ended up being the true villain of the arc. It's not much, I know, but it was at least more interesting than your bog standard monster of the week, Queen Barrels at it again bullshit. So, but that was an interesting season. Let's see, after that, also that's when we introduced to Sailor Pluto, who is the guardian of time and has the most depressing backstory in the world. So, I believe Sailor Pluto's whole stick is that she's the guardian of time, which essentially means she, like, lives in limbo for eternity and guards time from being fucked with. It's kind of a depressing existence, to be honest, but I think she's one of the most powerful Sailor Scouts because she controls time. I don't remember, though, but, you know, her story is kind of bleak. She's also kind of a boring character, I'm not gonna lie. It's been a while. Maybe she does more than I remember her doing, but I don't know. Sailor Saturn is actually really interesting because she's not necessarily a Sailor Scout. She is something called the Messiah of Silence. And she's not evil exactly. These violations include killing a shitload of people, basically, yeah. But Sailor Saturn is somebody called the Messiah of Silence. And my lore is a little fuzzy. It's been a while since I've watched this season of Sailor Moon. But she's essentially destined to destroy the universe and has the power to do so. But, like, that's her only power, is to destroy the universe. That's all I remember for her. But it's interesting because she became best friends with Sailor Mini Moon for a while. And her story was complicated. I think this was the Witches 5 saga, actually, which is the funniest shit, because Witches 5 is hilarious. But there's a lot. This is making me want to go back and rewatch Sailor Moon, which is not a good sign, because when I want to go back and rewatch Sailor Moon, I usually do, which means I'm out of commission for like 2 months, just rewatching Sailor Moon. But these two are lesbians. Also, Sailor Neptune is the best one, and is the best one, and I will fight anyone who says otherwise, because she's the best one. She's the best. She's the best Sailor Scout. She's the best one. This is the best one. This one right here. We're good on that. We're good. We're on the same page. Okay, good. So these two are lesbians. I was going there right then, Drill. So, best of cousins. Yes, this is hilarious. So, based on my understanding, Sailor Moon was originally dubbed by a company called DIC, which is appropriate for a company that dubs over anime, frankly. And they had like 4Kids level censorship. Like, they went all out. They like prevented certain episodes from being aired in the States because it was not kid friendly enough. It was wild. And when it came time to dub the season of Sailor Moon where these two characters are introduced, these two are explicitly lesbian. They are both women in a relationship with each other, like, explicitly. The dub company said, nah, fuck that. They're very close cousins. And let me tell you, the Sailor Moon fan base has a field day with that every time it comes up, because it's crazy. But apparently, like, later on in the show's lifetime, when they tried to dub the rest of the seasons, eventually, like, these two's interactions on screen became so... explicit is the wrong word, because that implies something I don't mean. But, like, the show, as time went by, became so aggressively gay regarding these two that they just couldn't do it anymore. They literally stopped dubbing it at that point and moved. Another company eventually had to come on and pick it up like 10 years later. It was wild. So, yeah, that's the story of Sailor Uranus and Neptune, who are also kind of relationship goals, but also unrealistic because they're portrayed as like a perfect couple. So, I don't know. Anyways, so that was all the Sailor Scouts. Let's move on to... Oh, hang on. No, that wasn't all of them. Remember how I said Sailor Neptune is the best one? Boom. She's the best one. I will not hear otherwise. She's the best one. This one right here, this is the best Sailor Scout. Basically trying to sequester their homosexuality, they inadvertently promoted incest. Exactly! That's the great irony here. So this is Great Eastern, I believe. Let me double check. I think this is Great Eastern. No, it's not. Oh, it is Great Eastern. Okay, so this is Great Eastern, and this is the only Sailor Moon plush that Great Eastern makes that doesn't look awful, and it's because it's not the Sailor Scout version of her. This is her casual outfit. This is Sailor Neptune's, like, casual. I believe her name is Michiru Kaio, so this is Michiru, as opposed to Sailor Neptune. And again, she's the best one. Absolutely adorable. I love her outfit to pieces. Her hair, like, cascades down her shoulder. I'm not gonna lie. I have a little bit of a crush on Sailor Neptune. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. But she's amazing. I love this plush to pieces. So those Bandai plushes I got from a Japanese website. This I actually stumbled across while window shopping in my local comic shop. I don't even remember why I was there. I was just walking around there, just bored one day and walking around the comic shop just there. And I saw this on a rack and I'm like, that's Sailor Neptune. This is a really good looking plush. I have to buy it. So I bought it. So this is my Great Eastern Sailor Neptune. Yeah. She's the best one. As you can plainly see, she's the best one. So. Speaking of Great Eastern. Now, I don't like Great Eastern's Sailor Scout plushies. But what I do like are these. These I really, really liked. So, Homura, you had to do that. You had to, you really, we'll try that again. So, Madoka, Homura. If anybody hasn't seen Madoka Magica, we could talk at length about Madoka Magica and all of the weird shit it did to the magical girl genre, as well as a whole bunch of other stuff. But these are two other Great Eastern plushes that I stumbled across again in my local comic shop and couldn't not buy. So, Madoka Magica is one of the first anime that I ever watched, something that I watched very early on because I was like, ooh, it's like Sailor Moon, but darker. I want to watch that. So, and it was good. I like Madoka Magica. I know a lot of people have very valid criticisms about it and like the way it's written and things like that, but I really, really liked it. So, but this is my Madoka and Homura. Homura was, I think, one of the earliest plushes I ever bought. Now, we'll get into how I started collecting these and, like, the first plushie that I bought, because I do still have it, and it does hold some, like, actual significance with me. But I think this might be the third plushie I ever bought. Like, this was back during a time when it was still kind of weird for me to be, like, collecting plush dolls, because at the time, it felt odd because I still thought I was a cis man, and also because, like, it wasn't a collection yet. It was just buying dolls. So, but I'm very glad that I did. I love this hobby now to pieces, and I'm absolutely proud of this collection. I wouldn't part with it for the world. But this is my Homura, and again, this was after. In fact, I think the reason that this appealed to me so much originally was because my friends and I were actively into Madoka Magica at the time and enjoyed talking about it and discussing it and like thinking about the ramifications of it and things like that. There was a lot going on. So, Homura was one of the first. And then fast forward several months, actually. Stop falling over. If you fall over again, you're going back in the box. She won't stand up, so she's going back in the box. Madoka, I found a couple months later, like months later, and was very excited because I'm like, oh, I have a Homura that she can go with. Finally, Homura will be reunited with her Madoka. Fantastic. Which, depending on how you interpret the show, may or may not be toxic as fuck, but you know what? Never mind. But this is Madoka, again, Great Eastern. Turns out Great Eastern makes good plushes that aren't Sailor Scouts. So, another one that I very much like. It's interesting that her hands are kind of sewn in this pose, but you could, you know, put something in there if you so... It's a match made in heaven, really. I've never seen anything more beautiful. There. It's the cutest damn thing in the world. I won't hear otherwise. So anyways, Madoka and Homura, both Great Eastern. Big fan. Let's see, I could do this one, or I could do... let's do this one next. There we go, okay. Alright, so, another one, funnily enough, this is a very recent addition to the collection, but it's also from my childhood. Bananas in pajamas are coming down the stairs. So, when I was, again, a toddler, like an infant, and I mean an infant, this is shit that I do not remember. I was so young. But apparently, the very old show Bananas in Pajamas was just my favorite show in the world as a young baby. I don't remember this part of my life, but everyone in my family agrees with that, and I have vague memories of watching Bananas in Pajamas as a very young child. So, this was... My family does know that I collect plushes, so occasionally they will turn up with one that's... And I love them for it. It's just excessively sweet of them to do so. But this is my Banana in Pajamas, and it holds a lot of nostalgia. It was a gift from my grandmother, I believe, because she knew that this was my favorite show as a kid. So, Yeah, a proud addition to the collection. I think he fits in very well, but this is my banana in pajamas. Let's see. All right. Space. The final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise. Our 5-year mission. To explore strange new worlds. To seek out new life and new civilizations. To boldly go where no one has gone before. So I believe this one was also a gift. Don't ask me why this exists or how I managed to get it, but this is a genuine, actual plush Enterprise from Star Trek the original series. Now, I'll let you know, if you get to know me in person, and you know me for long enough, you will eventually stumble across the part of me that's into Star Trek. And I know way more about this show than I need to. I wouldn't say that I'm one of those obsessive nerds whose entire life revolves around Star Trek, because that's my father's job. But... And also, the original series isn't necessarily my favorite. I did like it. I liked it a lot, and I very much enjoy it. I think Kirk is great. I think Spock is a fantastic character. I think their adventures are... The original series is a very slow show, especially by today's standards. It was definitely a product of its time, and it's so aggressively dated. But if you like Star Trek, it is definitely worth watching, because it is that same Star Trek formula, just slowed down, and I don't know, but it is good. I liked it a lot, and it's where a lot of the classic Star Trek memes came from. So, but yeah. Although that said, if you ever ask me Kirk or Picard, my answer will always be Sisko, because Sisko's a badass and he is the best of all the Star Trek captains. And if you disagree, you're wrong. Let's see. Right, at this point, I'm stalling to avoid giving everyone what they're really here for. So let's continue stalling. This is another Vocaloid one that I forgot to point out. But so this is an alternate version of Hatsune Miku. It's a very chibi plushie, one that I picked up when I was a kid. Again, this one's actually one of a set of two. This one being the normal one with the little cute expression and whatnot. You know, she got the face. But then the other one had a meme expression on it, but it was the same plushie. But either way, look. If we're gonna argue Star Trek captains in the what's it called? In the wow, my brain just died. If we're gonna argue Star Trek captains in chat, let's just all agree that Picard is better than Kirk. Anyways, so Sakura Miku. Just an alternate version of Hatsune Miku. I don't know if her alternate version... She got a couple. She got the aqua one, the snow one, and the cherry one. But I don't know if they have different voices or if they're just different outfits. I'm not sure. But I don't know. But this one, I would have bought both. I would have bought the set. All right, you two, break it up. Let's not argue Star Trek captains in my chat. That's not what we're here for. Take your Star Trek hot takes and move them. The worst one's not even a hot take, but take your Star Trek hot takes, move them elsewhere. That's all we're here for. But see, ultimately, I should have bought the set of two, but I didn't because I was stupid and a kid at the time. You can tell by the fact there's no tag on this one. So, but I did like her. She was just aggressively adorable and one that I'm happy to have. She is older and an older member of my collection, so she is kind of dirty and dusty. So, but I still love her. I think she's yeah. So I got not much to say on this one. Just another Amazon find. I love her to pieces. The cherries on her back, which there are cherries on her back, used to be sewn up like this, but one of the seams ripped, so it's not like that. Just kind of drooping. Oh, y'all didn't even get to see that. So they used to be sewn up like this, up there like that. But then it fell, so they just fell. So I'm just kind of hanging on by a thread, literally. So I'm being careful with this one as well, because I don't want these to fall off. But But yeah. Alright. Enough stalling. Now let's get to the reason everyone's here. The Toho plushies. So, I'm going to start with the simplest. Marisa Kurosame Nendoroid. Does the hat come off? I don't think the hat comes off on this one. Oh, never mind, it does. So, this is... I am not going to sit here and explain Toho Project, because we'd be here for the next 8 hours if I did. But the world's shortest version, for those who are unaware, let me drink some water for this. But the world's shortest version is Toho Project is a series of Japanese shooters that take place in a fantasy world known as Gensokyo. Gensokyo is a place that runs entirely on ranged magical combat where anime girls shoot Dragon Ball bullets at each other. I've now explained Toho in the shortest way possible. It also contains some of the most broken, overpowered characters in all of fiction, I'm confident saying, because Reimu herself is busted, Yukari is busted, Yuka apparently is busted, like, stupidly overpowered characters. Oku is busted. But this is Marisa Kurosame, one of the two main protagonists of Toho Project, the other being Reimu, and she is official Nendoroid, fully posable, removable hat. You'll love to see it. Absolutely adorable. Marisa is better than Reimu, and I will fight anyone who, says otherwise. But yeah. Also, Marisa do shoot the big lasers. She shoot the very big lasers. She do have the Master Spark bween, so. But yeah, Nendoroid Marisa. Big fan of that one. Another Amazon find. I don't know that can they use galaxies as throwing stars, though. I can name at least 2 Toho characters. There's at least 2 Toho characters that I can think of that probably can throw galaxies as discs. With throwing stars. Also, Larry, thank you so much for the bits. I really appreciate the support. It really means a lot to me. Thank you. In fact, I should probably let you know. Let's hang on. You might want to get here soon. We're getting to the Fumos next. Now, if you're into plushies, hearing the word Fumo has triggered something in you. So this is my Marisa Kurosame Nendoroid, one that I'm very happy with. I love Nendoroid plushies, but they're very expensive. Like, you pay a premium for Nendoroids, but it's definitely worth it because they're very well stitched, very good quality, articulated. Like, I can't stress enough how important that is. I love the articulation. Another one that I bought early on enough that I removed the tags from. So, but this is Marisa Kurosame, one of the 2 Toho protagonists, and thank you, Larry. I really appreciate it. Don't worry. Don't worry. You'll get the same experience on the VOD. Don't worry. In fact, Larry, if you're watching this later, if you're curious, hi, hello from the past. I appreciate you and you're fantastic. But yeah, Marisa Kurosame. Now, before we get to the Fumos, though, remember how I talked about bootlegs earlier? Behold, bootleg Reimu. Now, don't get me wrong, I like this plush. I do not regret buying this plush. I think it looks fine. At the end of the day, it's a Reimu plush, and I did not have Reimu plush before buying this. Also, hello Kraken, welcome. Hope you're having a fantastic evening. Good to see you. So this is where I wanted to talk about bootlegs in general. Because again, as an amateur collector who didn't really know what she was doing, and who was just kind of buying things on Amazon, not really like going for anything in particular, I just wanted a Reimu plushie. This one was up there and cheap, so I bought it. And I didn't realize until after the fact, after it got here, and after, it's a, like, the ponytail is just a flap. It's not like anything of substance, it's just a flap. So, The bow's kind of saggy. The face is misshapen. The clothes don't really work. The legs are not sewn correctly. It's a bootleg, but it's still a plush of the character I wanted. So I still don't have a problem with it. I still like it. I don't regret buying it, but to an extent, I do kind of regret supporting bootlegs, almost. But it was cheap. It was like $20, which should have tipped me off that it was a bootleg. So, but this is bootleg Reimu, and what I want to say to this is that when you're just starting out, if you want to collect something, if you want to get into a hobby, don't be afraid to A, make mistakes, and 2, take some risks and support. Don't be afraid to get things that you want, even if they're not necessarily perfect, if that makes sense. I still don't regret buying this, even if I recognize it's a bootleg. I do want an official Nendoroid Reimu at some point, maybe even a Fumo, I haven't decided yet. But I still, at the time, as a child who was still just barely getting disposable income. Let me see if I can't refocus that. Come on. Focus, please. Come on. Focus. There we go. But yeah, that's the point I'm making. So, if you're just starting out, don't be afraid to do stuff like this, because I don't blame myself, and you shouldn't either. Make mistakes like this. So, buy bootlegs if you want. Just in the long run, make sure you don't support bootlegs. Don't support bootlegs. But also, if you just want a cheap plush, these are cheap. I'm contradicting myself all over the place. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not qualified to talk about any of this. I'm still an amateur collector, so I used to take the tags off these for Christ's sake, so I don't know. But the point is, this is my bootleg Reimu. Alright, so drum roll, please. This is the moment you've all been waiting for. This is the big kahuna. This is the big deal. This is the thing that we all want to see. And I will start with the important one. If I can find her. Oh god, where is she? There she is. Okay, perfect. So, where's the line between bootleg and fan art? That's a good question. Okay, so there's a difference between a bootleg and a fan creation, in that fan creations explicitly market themselves as such. They don't try to pass themselves off as anything else, and they are usually a consistent quality and stylized. They're not trying to be something else. This Reimu right here, this to me was trying to mimic an Nendoroid. This was trying to get you to think you're buying something official, almost, but for much cheaper. That to me is what makes this a bootleg, is that it was hastily thrown together, as you can see by, the general lack of quality in this one, the poor stitching, the everything. Lack of quality, but also the fact that they're trying to sell it to pass it off as something else. They're trying to make this look like an official Reimu plushie. Whereas, something like the Star Butterfly, for example, as a very good counterexample, this is very obviously not trying to be something else. This is very obviously trying to be its own thing. It's got its own style. The artist very obviously put a lot of care into it to make it as high quality as they could. This is a fan work that I believe is worth the money. This is something that you would buy on Etsy, and yeah, exactly. Yeah, I guess it's a stream delay because yeah, exactly that. But this was very obviously put together with a lot of care and attention to be stylized and to be something that is worth the money. This is something that someone poured their heart and soul into. Meanwhile, this is just designed to make you think it's an Nendoroid. So, I think that's the primary difference. Which, thank you for bringing that question up, because I don't think I did a good job explaining it earlier, but now I think I did, so I think we're good. So, time for a story before I go move on to the Fumos, because everyone wants to see the Fumos. That's what everyone cares about. is the Fumos. Show me your Fumos. The Twitter goes gaga over the Fumos. I know. So let's talk. When I was a teenager, not even a teenager, I was 19, I think. I got my first job, and because I was still living with my parents at the time, this was my first ever job, and one that I was extremely privileged to have the first job that I did. So I was making more than one would expect me to. I was still paying rent to my family. I was doing what I needed to do, all that stuff. But I had a lot of disposable income that I was saving a lot of, but still had something to play around with. And I was browsing Amazon one day, just because I wanted to, and stumbled across a plushie for about 120 bucks, I think it was. Didn't really think anything of it, but something clicked in my head that day. Something made me realize I want this plush. Because I didn't have a lot of things. Like, I was never, in my adult life at least, I was never a very thing-oriented person. I remember when I was, like, late into my teen years, I went through my entire bedroom one day for, like, 2 days straight and threw away everything. Like, I just threw away everything. Just so much crap. And I, from that point on, was never very big on things. I was never one to want to own things, necessarily. But for some reason, I saw this plush, and something clicked in my head. I just determined, I want this plush. I want to own this plush, and I don't know why. And it was this Flanders Scarlet Fumo. This is the first plushie I ever bought. Was this Flanders Scarlet Fumo. I should say the first collection plushie I ever bought. It is the dustiest, because I've had it for the longest. But I think it still holds up. I think it still looks pretty good. It's an official Fumo. I've removed the tags because I was a stupid head when I was a kid. But this is an official Fumo. Which, by the way, the reason I'm calling it that is because the brand that this plush is, they're called Fumo Fumos. That's what this brand of plushie is called. They're Fumo Fumos. And they charge a premium, they've achieved meme status, and they're very high quality, and they have a very specific look to them. Like, they have this sitting pose with this kind of, like, you know, vaguely smug expression. They generally have removable hats, which this is removable, as you can see. They tend to be very good quality. They tend to be very expensive. But Fumo Fumo is, like, a brand that is recognizable. And I have many. We'll go through them, don't worry. But this Flander was the first ever plush that I ever bought. And from there, I bought another one because I'm like, well, my Flander's lonely. I want her to have somebody to talk to. Yes, I'm serious. That was literally the logic that I used. My Flander plush is lonely while I'm away. I want her to have a friend to talk to. So I bought another one. I shit you not, that was my logic. Also, for the uninitiated, Flander is the extras boss of the first, technically sixth, but the first Toho game. She's the extra boss of it. And is the little sister of the final boss. So, and I believe her power is she can do this and instantly destroy anything. So, but yeah, I don't know why. I, to this day, could not tell you why I bought this. I couldn't. I still don't know why. But I'm very glad I did, and it started everything I've shown you so far, and everything I will continue to show you. It started this. So you can thank Flander here for getting me on the path to doll collecting. So, yeah. And I'm not going to go into like full review mode for these. They're Fumos. You know what Fumos are. They're a baseline of quality. They're Fumos. So there's no need to review these. Although I will probably go over how dusty they are. But very good quality. Fumos have a lot of attention to detail. Like, they've got Flander's little wings. Like, even if they're bent a little bit. But they have Flander's wings. They've got the bow. They've got all the details. They've got even her little, like, side ponytail here. She's got everything. She's very well made. So, yeah. We'll put you here. This table is about to become full of Fumos, by the way. This is now Fumo table. Bitches don't believe me when I say I have a lot of Fumos. I have a lot of Fumos. Are you saying Flanders? Almost. I'm saying Flander, as in singular. But... Ooh, interesting. So, I believe, I'm not sure, but I believe this is the second plushie I ever bought. I think. I think this is the one that I bought because I was like, oh, Flanders lonely. Let me go ahead and buy her a friend. This is Sakuya. She is the time-traveling maid. Literally, well, time-stopping maid, I should say, but she's the time-stopping maid of the mansion that she lives in. She is the maid of her mansion, of the mansion she lives in. So, she looks bad too. I mean, yeah, all the Fumos have this same kind of like vaguely smug, vaguely like mad expression, but feel the same way about my first deck of cards. I don't know why I wanted it so bad at the time, but now I have 150 or 1,500. It's one of my most prized. I agree, yeah. So, it's the one that has the most personal history, you know? It's the one that started the whole thing. You want to, like, you know... Who would want to play with these unhappy-ass dolls? Ah, we don't play with them. We collect them. Anyways. So this is Sakuya. She's the time-stopping maid of the Scarlet Devil Mansion, which is where they live, is the Scarlet Devil Mansion. And again, it's a Fumo. Baseline of quality. Nothing really special. One of my first ones, so she's very dusty. One thing I do want to point out is this pink ribbon. This pink ribbon does not belong on this plushie. And if you ever see photographs of my collection and you see this doll, it will have this pink ribbon on it. I kind of use that as a way to show people like, yes, this is my collection. Because this pink ribbon is unique to this collection. Where does this pink ribbon come from, you ask? Well, this is a story that I think about sometimes. I don't want to go into too many details because they're very personal, but there was a point in my life where I was struggling a lot. My whole family was. It was a dark time for my family. And I... Thank you so much, Larry. I really appreciate it. Thank you for donating in the middle of my heartfelt, potentially gut-wrenching story. But I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Anyways, so I've been having a very rough day, just a very rough time in general. It was pretty damn difficult. But I came home that day from work. I was still living with my parents at the time, and I came home that day from work, stormed up to my room, having just a terrible day, and I saw sitting on my computer desk this little like chocolate lollipop. I think it was a leftover from Valentine's Day. It was this little chocolate lollipop with this like little pretty wrapper, little heart-shaped lollipop with this pink bow tied around it on the outside. And attached to it was a note from my mother. I wish I still had that note. I wish I had kept it. But it was a note from my mother that basically said, hey, everything's going to be okay. It was more personalized than that, but that was the gist of the note. And I really needed to hear that in that moment. Like, that was just it was something that I needed at the time. So I enjoyed that little chocolate lollipop. I thought it was a nice gesture, something that I very much appreciate. But before I threw the wrapper, I took this pink bow off. I don't know why. I just wanted to keep it. I mean, in hindsight, you could probably figure out why. But I wanted to keep it, but I didn't know what to do with it. So I looked over to my bed, which is where I was keeping all my dolls at the time. Didn't have the dog. So I looked over to my bed, where I was keeping all my dolls. And just on impulse, just randomly, I tied this bow to Sakuya's hair. Don't know why, but I never took it off. I never took it off. So my Sakuya Fumo now has a pink ribbon in her hair. And it's because my mommy told me everything was going to be okay. And that's what that ribbon means. So, if you ever see photographs that claim to be my collection, and you see Sakuya, and she doesn't have that pink ribbon, it's not my collection. Eh. So anyways, that's Sakuya, and that's the story of the pink ribbon. The rest of these aren't going to be nearly as interesting. This is Remilia. She's another vampire. She is the older sister of Flander. She's the final boss of the 6th Toho game. Again, it's a Fumo, so baseline of quality. You know, you'll love the Fumos. Everyone loves the Fumos. It's got little vampire wings in the back. Yep, little vampire wings in the back. Big fan of Vermilia. Love her to pieces. Hat's removable, but I'm not going to do that right now. Yukari. Yukari is such a troll. I love Yukari so much. So Yukari is arguably, and I say arguably because there's people that are going to debate about this all day long, but arguably Yukari is the most powerful Toho character and one of the most powerful characters in all of fiction. She's one of the characters that could probably throw galaxies like they're ninja stars, just because she can. She's broken like that. Love Yukari to pieces. And in the 2 Toho fighting games in which she appears, that being Hiso Tensoku and whatever the fighting game is that introduced the normal human girl from the outside world, which is a big deal in Toho Project. Like, you don't have people from outside Gensokyo as characters in this series. An outsider being a regular character is a big deal because most outsiders just get eaten. So there's a whole game revolving around that plotline about that character. But I think she's playable in that fighting game. And Yukari was not my main in both games, but I played her in both games extensively. Who was my Houston? I think my Houston Tensoku main was actually Alice, which makes sense considering. But my Houston Tensoku main was Alice, and I think in the Sky Fighters, it was Ichirin. I think. I don't remember. I might have actually made Yukari in the one she's in. I don't know if Ichirin was in it. I don't remember. I also remember I played Memizao a lot. Anyways. So that's Yukari. Alright. Satori. Her hair's all fucked up. Hang on. Why is her hair all fucked up? I want to unfuck her hair. Satori. She can read minds. Lives underground. Hates her life. That's basically it. I said everything. She's very pink. I like her design. Her character's okay. I'm not the biggest fan, but I know people who are big fans of Satori, so. Fun fact. She is named after a species. Her name is Satori, and she is a Satori, which is a Japanese mythological creature that can read minds. So, you know. Alright, I'm going to need y'all to not fall over, please. So there's Satori. Eh. We'll put you in the Fumo pile. There we go. If you think we're anywhere close to the end of the Fumos, you've got another thing coming. Yuyuko. Big fan of Yuyuko. Love her to pieces. I think she is the best character in Hiso Tensoku. In terms of like fighting game power, she's top tier. But I don't know how to play her. So, but she's a ghost. In fact, I think she's like the ghost queen, basically. Once tried to steal Spring by absorbing it into a massive cherry tree. Or massive ghost cherry tree. Ooh! But Yuko's great. Eats a lot, so I can relate. But there we go. Yuko's great. Aya, she's a news reporter. She's a crow tengu, which doesn't mean anything to any of you unless you know Japanese mythology, and it's far too much for me to explain right now. But she's a bird monster, basically, and she's a reporter. She runs a literal newspaper, runs around with a camera, and takes pictures and reports on Gensokyo's natives. So we like Aya. Aya's great. Has her own spin-off game where you take pictures of bullets. Kasen. I did not like Kasen at first. I didn't really care for her. Wasn't a huge fan of her design. Didn't really get her story. Never cared for her. Then I read the manga. There's a couple different Toho mangas, all of which are very good. Forbidden Scrollery, I think, is the... Well, I like Forbidden Scrollery a lot, but that's mostly just because I like Kosuzu. I think she's a great character. Forbidden Scrollery is good. Wild and Horn Hermit is far better. Like, of all the Toho manga I've read, Wild and Horn Hermit is just by far the best. Even if you don't like Toho Project, even if you've never heard of it, if you're into manga at all, or even if you're just into comics, read Wild and Horn Hermit. it's just that good. Kasen is a great character. I love her to pieces. She's such... Oh my god. So, the main characters, like I said, of Toho Project are Reimu and Marissa. And Marissa is like this, like, jovial, but like, kinda like laid back and like nonchalant character where she's one of those, oh, it'll be fine kind of people. Like, she does work hard, but she's just not a very good role model. And Reimu is just straight up a lazy ass. She just sucks at her job. I should say, she's actually really good at her job. She's like the best yokai hunter in all of Gensokyo. She's really good at her job. But she's also lazy as fuck. And Kasen just shows up all the time, basically bitch slaps the both of them and says, get back to work, you assholes. She spends an entire chapter and a half running Reimu's shrine for her because she can't be bothered to show up to work. It is so... In fact, no, I think she had a more legitimate reason than that. But it was so funny that, like, I don't know. It was... Wild and Horned Hermit is so good. And it's got legitimately really compelling story. Kasen has a lot of very, like, compelling elements to her. She's a mysterious character in the beginning. You find out why she is the way she is. You find out the secret behind her arm being all wrapped up like this, which is an integral part of her character. Like, I love Kasen to pieces. I was a non-believer before, but then I read the manga, and Kasen shot up very quickly to one of my favorite characters. She's absolutely amazing. And then they made her playable in the most recent fighting game. And I can't figure her out, and I suck as her, which makes me so sad, because I love Kasen to pieces, and I want to learn to play her, but I don't get her. But this is Kasen. Big favorite, big fan of mine. I never cared for Kasen, like I said before, but I only bought this after finishing Wild and Horned Hermit, because after I finished that manga, I literally was like, okay, I have to find out if she has a Fumo, and she does. Also, she has a little chain, which, again, part of her character. So... I love Kasen to pieces. I think she's fantastic. I can't talk too much about her because there's a lot to spoil. Read Wild and Horned Hermit. It's really good. But let's see. Are we getting to the end of the Fumos? I think we might be. All right. Patchouli, whose hat refuses to ever stay on. Another early one that I bought early on. Patchouli is another like character that people can relate to a lot because she's a bookworm. She like spends all of her time indoors just reading, and she like is extremely physically frail, which is, you know, something that people have related to in the past. How she is in video game terms your archetypical wizard. She's like extremely frail. I think she literally canonically has asthma, and she's like very, very weak, but she is one of the most powerful spellcasters in all of Gensokyo. Her magic rivals that of like the top tier players in the universe, and it's because she is thousands of years old and has just been reading and studying for all of that time. She's one of the most powerful sorceresses in the entire world, even if physically she's extremely weak and can keel over from coughing too hard. So everyone loves Patchy. I think we're approaching the end of the Fumos. Koishi. The tragic, tragic tale of Koishi. So, I'm actually going to pull Satori back out real quick because this is kind of important. As Yuko falls over. I fix. God damn it. Why is everything falling apart now? There we go. Okay. So, we went over Satori already. Remember how I said her name is Satori and she is a Satori? This is Koishi. Koishi is Satori's sister. And you'll notice that the eye on her chest is open. The eye right here on her chest is closed. So this is... I'm going to have to sum up the story because I don't really remember all the details. But both of these characters are Satoris and they can read minds. And I suppose that the eye on their chest is what gives them that power. However, Koishi didn't like that power. She was having a very hard time coping with the ability to read people's minds. So she underwent some implied to be horrific procedure. Stop doing that. She underwent some implied to be horrific ritual to close her eye right there, which took away her powers, but also took away her ability to think more. Like, she's no longer a conscious thinking being. She's a being that runs purely on the subconscious. Like, I don't know too much about Koishi's actual lore, but I know that you can't perceive her except subconsciously, and she can't think except subconsciously, all because she closed her third eye there. It's more of a tragedy than I'm explaining, and I'm probably not explaining it well, but that's about... This is a more tragic character than I'm making it out to be, but Koishi's another, like, somebody else. Also, she has kind of a, like, almost Japanese horror theme going in some of her more recent incarnations, where she, like, is one of those, like, distant, spacey, creepy kind of, like, randomly... I don't know. It's... Do your own research. I don't know enough about Koishi to really talk about that, but I do like her. I think she's fantastic, and I think that she plays well in the fighting games, so, you know. She also has weird gimmicks in the fighting games. And at last, we come to the end of the Fumos, and I've saved my personal favorite for last, Alice. Yes, this is a Toho character, and not an Alice in Wonderland character. But you can kind of tell what her design was based off of and where her name comes from. But this is Alice, and her whole shtick is dolls. Dolls. She controls ridiculous armies of them, makes them herself, can puppet them, can fill them with gunpowder and they'll explode, can have them hit people with lances and swords. Like, I love her to pieces. And in her fighting game incarnation in Hisa Tensoku, her whole thing is throwing dolls out and using them to fight. I love her playstyle so much. I think she's so much fun to play. I also love her design. I think she's adorable. I think that her whole theme, using dolls to fight and whatnot, she's great. It's also interesting to me that she's described as a young yokai. For those who don't know, yokai is basically Japanese for monster, and there's a lot of different versions, but she used to be human, but underwent, like, magical procedures to lose her humanity and become a yokai, meaning she stopped aging, she no longer has to do human things, she's become a monster, essentially. And in doing so, she now, because she doesn't age, has the goal of basically becoming an extremely powerful witch, essentially. And her theme is dolls, so, but yeah. So this, my friends, those are my Fumos. More than the average bear, I think. These are all of the ones I've collected over the years, and I love them to pieces. So, these are the ones that everyone always talks about. These like, the Fumos are what people want to see. So, let me go ahead and put them back down here. Fumos are also very expensive. This was, like I said, I pretty much always buy these, or always bought these, back when I actually had money. Also, funny story, while I'm putting these away, there exists a Yomu Fumo, one that I was very excited about finding one day, because Yomu is another personal favorite Toho character of mine, who is a half-ghost, try and figure that out, who is also a gardener, and fights with two swords. And she's just, I love her design, I love everything about her. Yomu's great. I would have loved a Yomu plushie. But the one I found on Amazon was literally $1,200. And I don't know if that was a mistake or what's going on with that. But needless to say, I never ended up buying the Yomu plushie. So, but alright. So while we're still on the subject of Toho, we get on to the first wild purchase of the evening. Brace yourselves for Big Reimu. So, behold Big Reimu. So, don't ask me why I bought this. I'm not 100% sure myself. But this is a 24-inch Reimu plushie. Now, I'm 90% sure that she's also a bootleg. I bought her off of some random website. I don't remember. In fact, I think I just got her off Amazon. but she's a 24-inch plushie. She's 2 feet tall. And again, don't support bootlegs, but I don't know where you can get an official 24-foot Reimu. So, or 24-inch Reimu. So, this is big Reimu. And she is very huggable. She's very, you can't see it because I'm not on, there we go. She's very huggable. You still can't see that. But, funnily enough, this was during a time when I was just trying to get my hands on large plushies. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I didn't want to feel creepy with a body pillow. Also, hello, Reteach. Hope you're having a fantastic evening. Thank you for stopping by. I think I was just too embarrassed to buy a body pillow, but still wanted something to hug at night because I was like living alone and lonely. So, this is big Reimu, right? So, I was shopping on Amazon and stumbled across, 24-inch, which for whatever reason, I misinterpreted that as being 4 feet tall. I don't know why, but that's just how I ended up interpreting it. So I bought it thinking it was 4 feet tall, not realizing it was 2 feet tall. I still love it. Like, I still have her, obviously, and I do not intend on getting rid of her. I like Big Reimu. Big Reimu is part of the collection. But yeah, so this is Big Reimu. Don't worry, this isn't the wildest thing in the collection, but this is Big Reimu. Let me put Big Reimu back in the box. Because Big Reimu goes to the bottom of the box. Alright. Before I move on to the 2 very special ones, and these 2 are very special for a variety of reasons, before I move on to that, I do want to quickly point out this little guy that I'm keeping on my computer desk. I saw a Twitter post about this. In fact, Jewel, if you're still here, I think I actually found out about these from you. But I saw somebody selling these little plushy pill bugs, and I loved them to pieces. I thought they were adorable, and they had a whole bunch of pride flags on them. So obviously, I bought the one pertaining to me. But I love them to pieces, and they're these just these tiny little pill bug plushies, and I bought it on impulse. It was like $10, but this was my most recent acquisition right here. Is just this little pill bug. So, but yeah, this one sits on my computer desk where my dog can't get it. So, but this is my little trans bug. Just want to point that out. All right, so now we get into the 2 that are extremely special to me, and it's because these 2 were given to me by not only because they were gifts from a very close friend, but also because they were extremely relevant to my interests at the time and still pretty much are. And we'll start with the Zergling. Isn't he cute? Absolutely adorable. Look at this face. This is a face only a mother could love. So this is my Zergling. For those who don't know, this is from the game StarCraft 2. A game that I got very into for a long time now. Eek, not cute, not cute. Not sorry, on the subject of bugs. But this is my little Zergling. Funnily enough, the fact that he has wings means that he's actually a speedling. This is after the metabolic boost upgrade. So he's actually moving twice as fast as he should be because he has this upgrade. But this is my little Zergling. And this means a lot to me because, not only, like I said, this was a gift from a friend, but there was also a lot of thought put into this. Because, I still love StarCraft. I someday want to get back into playing StarCraft. I want to get back into laddering it, and I know I've been on and off playing the campaign, but I am enjoying playing the campaign on stream. I want to do that more often. But this is my Zergling plush. So, love it to pieces. Zerglings, of course, being the archetypical Zerg unit. Oh, I'm a Zerg main too. That's the other thing, is that there are 3 races in StarCraft, Zerg being one of them. I'm a Zerg main. So, these little bastards are near and dear to my heart. So, that's the other thing. This is Zergling. However, this plush is reversible. Just a moment. There's a little zipper on the bottom here. What could this mean? Let's find out together. Now, it's reversible. I don't do this very often because these little arms here, they're not sewed on very well. So I don't reverse this very often. I try to be very careful with it. So, because I don't want to break it. But I will happily reverse it on stream. So let me go ahead and open that back up. Doodle-doo. Just a moment. Let me go ahead and... there we go. Pull them out, pull them out, pull them out. Again, trying to be careful because I don't want to rip any of the legs off. There's one. Come on now, don't be difficult. There we go. Now we can fold these in. And kind of stuff this in there like that. Come on now, don't be difficult. Please stand by. Can you have technical difficulties on a stream where you're literally showing plushes? Is that a thing that can happen? There we go. All right. There we go. Now it's giving in. Now it's listening. Come on. I don't want to stuff too hard because I don't want to rip it, but come on, get in there. Get in there. There we go. There we go. Alright. So it's a little lumpy, as reversible plushies tend to be. But now it's a Baneling. Non-technical difficulties, yeah, exactly. Now it's a Baneling. I think this is so fucking adorable. I love this to pieces. This is my Baneling plush. It's also a Zergling plush. And the reason this is so neat is because Zerglings in the game, obviously you can use them standalone. You can use them as just, you know, a standard unit you would use to fight with. But also, you can upgrade your Zergling to a Baneling. And what Banelings do is they don't fight. They instead explode on impact and deal an absolute shitload of area damage. Like, you can break through whole armies with a squad of Banelings. The Banelings are then dead, but you can do that. So, Banelings are another thing that Zerg is pretty much known for. And, you know, he's got his little legs. He's got his little crawly legs. That's just a different doll. Do you want me to reverse this on camera? Because I will. I absolutely will. Like I said, I don't like handling it too much, but I'll reverse it one more time to prove it's the same plush. But yeah, this is the Baneling. And I think it's adorable. I love this to pieces. So, reverse it on camera. Alright, you know what? Alright, so. Now, bear in mind, what you're about to see is not going to be pretty. So, disclaimer. This might get graphic. So, let me just. Now, reversing it like this is where I have to be careful, because I have to make sure that all the little legs come out and whatnot. So, there we go. Okay. There we go. Alright, so there's that. I think that's the tail. There's the wings. Actually, maybe I should push instead. Kind of. There we go. You can see it kind of sprouting out of there a little bit. There we go. Pull it all out. Oh, it's horrible. Yeah, I know. That's why I reversed it off camera. You asked for this. There we go. A little bit more. A little bit more. There we go. So we pull this one out. Nothing ripped. Good, good. Perfect. There we go. And now we kind of squish. This one's easier to squish back in because it's mostly just one, like, big bulbous round ass, and it's just like the little, just those little feet that have a potential to rip off. So let me squish this back in there. There we go. Trying to use it to fluff out back like that. There we go. Alright, come on now. Get in there. Don't be difficult. And don't rip the legs off. That would be bad. I don't know how I did this so easily last time. Alright, and easy as that. So, this is my Zergling / Baneling plush. And for a variety of reasons, this one means a lot to me. I love this. I love this doll to pieces. And I will do my best to preserve it because it is... I love it so much. As a Zerg main, this holds a special place in my heart. See, you can even kind of already see that the seams are starting to wear from stress. So I'm going to stop handling this one now before it rips. I'm sure I can always just find a way to sew it back on, but I don't want to break it because I've seen people like reviews for this exact plush, but they're not in print anymore. Like this, well, in print, they're not made anymore. Like this was a very limited time thing that was an extremely kind thing that this friend went out of their way to buy for me. But I don't want anything to happen to it because there's not a lot of them in existence. So, you know, but I love this to pieces. And continuing the theme of StarCraft plushes, this much more palatable fellow is a StarCraft Protoss probe. For those who don't know, this little mechanical fellow is the worker unit for the Protoss, and is the thing that harvests the resources and builds the buildings. You know, these are disturbingly important units in the game of StarCraft. You pretty much live and die by your workers, so this is a probe. I do not play Protoss. Protoss is the one race that I'm bad at and don't really understand fully. But in terms of like being a StarCraft plushie, I really love it. Now, it does light up and play little Protoss sounds, like little probe sounds, but I don't think it has batteries in it right now. I don't think it has batteries in it right now. As a matter of fact, this one is not a transformer. This one is just a plush. The gimmick for this one isn't that it transforms, it's that it has a voice box in it and lights up, but doesn't have batteries right now. Yeah, the yellow submarine. Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna get demonetized if you keep saying that. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't think this is a Protoss probe. I don't think this is a generic Protoss probe. I think specifically, this is the Heroes of the Storm character, Probius, who is just straight up a Protoss probe, like with no differences, but he has a name. So I think this is Probius, actually. Does it say on the tag? It doesn't say. So I think this is Probius. But I'm not a huge Heroes of the Storm fan, but I'm a huge StarCraft fan, and it's still a Protoss probe. So big fan of this one as well. Just as thoughtful as the other one. I love this one to pieces too. I think these are such unique plushes to have. Like, people don't have StarCraft units as plush toys. But I do. I have a Zergling and a probe, and I'm so happy about that. I don't know if they ever released a Terran one, which, by the way, plush manufacturers, if you ever see this, if somehow this stream ever makes it to Blizzard, I would murder somebody for a siege tank plush. It doesn't even have to transform. It doesn't have to be articulated. It can just be tank mode, or it can just be siege mode. I don't care. I would kill for a siege tank plush. Or a battle cruiser, even better. I would choke a bitch out for a battle cruiser plush. Blizzard, if you ever see this, make it happen. I'll buy 10. All right. But if you make a Terran plush, I'll buy 10 because I need to complete the set 3. But yeah, that's a probe. All right. So that's it for this box. There are still more, but I'm going to go ahead and take a quick break to relax my throat and get some water. So thank you all so much for being here. I will be right back in a couple minutes while I clean up this mess and get my other stuff set up and ready to show y'all. So thank you all so much for being here. I'm having so much fun talking to y'all. And I will be right back. Don't go anywhere. And we're back. Thank you all so much for your patience. To answer your question, Hart, it's on the actual bar where it says send a message. There should be a couple little icons on the right-hand side. There you go. You found him. Okay. All right. So let me go ahead and swap back over. Hello, hello. So, in fact, I don't really like self-advertising, but while we're on that subject, I do have my follower emotes set up, so anybody who's followed me is able to use those. But if you want access to all the emotes I have available, you can always subscribe to the channel. Just a tier 1 should unlock pretty much everything. I need to double check. I don't think I have anything at higher tiers, but I'll have to go back and double check that. But you absolutely don't have to, but if you want access to all the emotes, I would always appreciate the support. But anyways, let's continue. So, since we were on the subject of Touhou in the first place, we might as well move on to... So here's this one. Oh no, her shoe's coming off. Oh no. Let me put that back on real quick. Let me just... There we go. Okay, we're good. Alright, so this one. There we go. And her partner. This one. Is that removable? Okay, this hat is not removable. That's fine. So, I'm a big fan of both of these. And let me go ahead and pull up the Twitter account of the person for whom this is relevant. Let's see, there we go. I will go ahead and link this person in chat because I think their work is fantastic. But this is a Twitter user that I stumbled across by accident, who is just an artist, just a digital artist who, does their things and is, talented, works very stylized. But a while ago, they did a campaign for a plush line they wanted to do. And these, Shaggy, if you're still here, these are a good example of fan works as opposed to bootlegs. Mostly because they're very high quality and very stylized, but also because this particular version of this character does not exist in plush form elsewhere. Now, a brief history of Touhou Project, because these two characters might look somewhat familiar, but a little different. So, for those who don't know, remember how earlier I said the first Touhou game, but technically the 6th? This is what I mean. There are 5 Touhou games that came out for a system known as the PC-98. You can think of it as the Japanese version of MS-DOS, basically. But they're the PC-98 Touhou games, and there are 5 of them. All developed by the same guy that makes the modern games, but Touhou 6 was made for Windows, and they've all been made for Windows since then. All Touhou games are made for Windows afterwards. So the first 5 Touhou games might be canon, might not be, depends on who you ask. The creator's iffy about it, but people generally consider the Windows era of Touhou to be the actual official canon, and the PC-98 era to be testing the waters, basically. These 2 plushes are the PC-98 versions of Reimu and Marissa. And the reason I've linked that person's Twitter handle is because these are not official. Neither of them are. These are made explicitly by Gleamy Guts. This is their original design, made to emulate Fumo's, and you can see they've done a decent job emulating Fumo's, even if they haven't copied the style one-to-one. A lot more detail in the eyes, obviously. And they wanted to do a plush line. They put out a post saying, hey, I designed PC-98 Reimu and Marissa as if they were Fumo's. If anyone's interested in getting these as actual plushes, let me know. She received... I'm pretty sure it's a she. Might be. I actually don't remember. I apologize if I'm getting your pronouns wrong, Gleamy, if you ever watched this, but I don't remember. But, does the fight over canon help or hurt fiction? That is a long discussion that is not for this stream. I'm not gonna lie. And I don't have an easy answer to that question. But I encourage you to join my Discord server to talk about it. Anyways. So, Gleamy Guts designed these and wanted to see if people were interested in buying plushes of them, received overwhelming support for them, and started getting them done. These, to me, are fan works, again, instead of bootlegs, because these are not only extremely high quality and extremely well designed, but they're also unique in their originality in terms of their style, and also these particular versions of these particular characters don't exist elsewhere in plush form. These are entirely... They're based on pre-existing characters, but they're entirely original plush designs. So... And I have nothing but good things to say about them. Gleamy Guts really went above and beyond with these designs. They have pretty much as much detail as a Fumo, if not more, because they've got all the ribbons, they've got the good, like, the designs on the clothes looks really good. The shoes are removable. The hair looks great. The stitching is very good, though it feels very tightly put together. Like, it doesn't feel fragile or anything. I think they're wonderful, and I absolutely love the style to pieces. Both of them are fantastic. And funny story about these two. I actually couldn't afford them when pre-orders first came up. And when pre-orders came up, all right, I will never encourage pre-ordering digital goods because they're digital. You can buy them literally anytime. They will never run out. These plushes went up for pre-order. You bet your ass I snapped those up real fast, because if I didn't, there was a decent chance I would never own them. And I couldn't not own these. They're too good. They're absolutely gorgeous. And funnily enough, I couldn't actually afford to purchase them at all. So, don't you, oh Lord, here we go, me. This is an important topic, but we're not talking about it right now. So I couldn't afford them at the time. So I went to my parents, because, you know, I'm like a little bitch like that. And I basically was yelling, Mommy, Daddy, will you buy these for me? And, like, originally I was going to pay them back, but this was late last year, so I'm like, hey, can we just make this my birthday and Christmas present this year? Maybe it was this year, I don't remember. But, like, I was trying to say, look, I really want these. Can you just make these my birthday and Christmas present this year? And I'm extremely lucky that they said, yes, we'll get these for you, darling. Don't worry. I'm extremely lucky. I have the best parents in the world. But I now have these. And yes, if the two of them ever see this, you don't owe me anything in terms of gifts this year. These are more than enough. These are beyond perfect. I love them so much. So, yeah. That is PC98 Raymu and Marissa. So, and big fan of that. Go follow Gleamy Guts on Twitter. They are extremely talented. I love their style a lot. And, yeah. This is a testament to their work. I think they were trying to get another PC98 character. I think they're trying to get a Mima plushie made. I personally am not the biggest fan of Mima. So, but yeah. So we have Raymu and Marissa. Alright, sticking with video games. Yeah. This is Big Goom. Oh, wait, no, I'm missing. Wait, hang on. Wait, you can't see the Goomba yet. The Goomba's not finished. He's not in his final form. I have to fix the Goom. The Goom must achieve his final form. He has to get ready. He's not out of his dressing room yet. I'm definitely not stalling for time as I, like, finish getting the Goomba ready. Not in a million years. Here we go. Alright, so let me get the there we go. Alright. This is my original Paper Mario OC Do Not Steal. I call him Squid Goomba. So everyone has these squid hats, right? Like, everyone has these squid hats. They're everywhere. You know, there's squid hats, everyone has them. Well, I put one on this Goomba, because I could. No one can stop me. And it just became, like, a staple of my, if you look in the top cam there, just became a staple of my collection, was Squid Goomba. So, this is my original Paper Mario OC Do Not Steal. This is another hallmark of my personal collection, because nobody else has Squid Goomba. I'm the only one with Squid Goomba. So, if I ever make a Paper Mario game, or if anybody's making a Paper Mario fan game and needs another partner, hit me up. Squid Goomba. I won't charge for intellectual property rights. I just want to link back to my Twitch channel. But we have Squid Goomba. And funnily enough, Goomba is actually a backpack. If you can see the zipper back there and all the, like, the straps and whatnot. Goomba's actually a backpack, but like a very, very small one. I don't use him as a backpack, but he does have a zipper with, like, some space in there. So, But I believe he was a gift from my uncle a couple years ago. I love Mario. Like, I love Mario's stuff. So I was very happy to get Goomba. But this is Squid Goomba. Uh-oh. Alright. And sticking with Mario for a while. IDK about literally Mario, but something like Paper Mario could be fun to make. Yeah, true. Totally see that in Waterworld. Exactly, right? Squid Goomba works so well. Alright, so sticking with Mario. Behold. Wow. I'm blanking on the name. Why can I not remember your name? You're the best Koopa Kid, and I can't remember your name. Ludwig! His name is Ludwig. Ludwig. The best Koopa Kid. Nobody likes the Koopa Kids. Like, they're obnoxious characters that show up way too often. And I know that in time, they've gotten better at, like, making the Koopa Kids more unique. And, like, making them, you know, more interesting in and of themselves. And the old school anime really tried to make them unique and really tried to make them interesting. I don't think they succeeded. Because it's the old school animes. They're all going to be terrible anyways. But this is the best Koopa Kid. Now, there are some heathens out there that will say the best Koopa Kid is Roy, or Lemmy, or what's the other one? What's his name? I forget what the dude's name with the star was on his face. I don't remember his name, but like, there's no replacement. He's Ludwig. You see this tooth? You see this hair? He's the best Koopa Kid. The Koopa Kids don't have personality, so don't worry about it. Oh wait, was it Super Mario World? It was Super Mario World. Yes, that's where they were originally. Actually, no, it was Super Mario World. Was the second game they were in. Morton, thank you. They originally appeared in Super Mario 3. They were also in Super Mario World. And as of recently, in I think the 3D, not the 3D World games, but in the new Super Mario series, I think they came back a lot, and people were kind of sick and tired of them. I'm kind of sick and tired of them too. They're not nearly as interesting as Bowser Jr. And their origin is questionable, and they show up side by side, Bowser Jr. sometimes. I don't even know. But this was a gift from a friend. I think it was for Christmas one year. Focus, please. Thank you. It was a gift from a friend, and of course I like it. He's the best Koopa Kid. I'm never going to complain about Mario plushes. I love it to pieces. But you know, the magic one was in all the newer Paper Marios, right? The magic one. Kamek? Or Cammy? I think Cammy Koopa's in the... I'm not sure. I know in the... I know in Color Splash. I don't know about Sticker Star, but I know in Color Splash, the Koopa Kids were all the bosses. But... Boom Boom Pom Pom is her name. It's Boom Boom and Pom Pom. Which I don't think they're supposed to have personality. I think they're just supposed to be regular mobs. But, you know how it is. Sticking with Mario, these are both actually very recent acquisitions. Funnily enough, I was at a theme park by my by where I live, just with a friend because I was, you know, at a theme park having fun and enjoying myself, and we were walking around, mostly just walking and talking because I hadn't seen that friend in a while. But as we were walking, we came across this game booth, and you know, I had just gotten paid recently, so I'm like, you know, why not? Let me take a look at some of the prizes, if there's anything worth it. And there was one booth that had these mushrooms as prizes, and I'm like, oh my god, I love these to pieces. I want these mushrooms. There were other Mario plushes up there too, but for some reason I fixated on these mushrooms. So we played a couple games, and I got both of them. These were the two prizes up there that I wanted. So I got both mushrooms. So that's the origin of these. Is they were theme park prizes, and obviously theme park prizes are never worth anything. But I like Mario stuff, and these are plushes, and I collect plushes. So mushrooms. Let's see. Oh, hang on. Okay, so there's more Mario, but they're kind of buried. So we'll get back to the rest of the Mario stuff soon. But sticking with video games, This is Cadence. I am not the world's biggest fan of roguelikes. That's the word I'm looking for. Not the world's biggest fan of roguelikes. But Crypt of the Necrodancer is something that... It's not Link, but her design was inspired by Link, very explicitly. Because Crypt of the Necrodancer is something that I very much enjoyed. And it's a roguelike with some Shovel Knight-esque mechanics, like you can dig through the map a lot. But Cadence is the protagonist of Crypt of the Necrodancer, which is a roguelike that you have to play on beat of a song. So, which is always fun. And her signature weapon is, of course, a shovel, which, you know, is also magnetic and removable. I love... More plushes need to do this. Like, merchandise that makes plushes needs to have stuff like this. Like, it can't not. This is the best thing. This is the best thing, period. Is a little magnetic removable, and it's as simple as there's a magnet sewn in the hand and a magnet sewn in the shovel, and you can just... I love it to pieces. Like, when I first got her, I did not expect the shovel to be removable. And when I learned it was, I died. Literally died. I'm a ghost right now. I don't know if you knew this. But this is Cadence. Big fan. I've never even gotten very far in Crypt of the Necrodancer. It's the only roguelike I've ever actually liked, and I still have never gotten far in it. But this is Cadence. Still sticking with video games. I'm going to just disappoint my parents a lot with this. But if you've ever heard of the idle dating game Crush Crush, this is Mio. Basically, Crush Crush is another one of those cookie clicker style idle games, except it's, you know, a dating sim on top of that, and a very, very silly one at that. One that I kind of let run in the background for several months, just because I felt like it. And it apparently got successful enough that the company ended up with enough money to make some plushies. So they made Mio and... Oh god, what was her name? Quill. Mio and Quill. So, these are both from the idle game Crush Crush. And I was always very casually into Crush Crush. Thank you so much for the bits, Larry. I really appreciate your support. Welcome back. I was always very casually into Crush Crush. It was never like a major pastime of mine. It was just something that I was like, I liked and thought was kind of silly. But when I saw they announced plushes, I couldn't not buy them. I bought them immediately. Like, I'm not even the world's biggest fan of this game, and I have the plushes because I can't not buy them. They're too cute. Like, and they're very well designed. Again, for like video game merch from a random idle game. These are very well designed, well stitched, detailed for the characters. The material used is high quality. The faces are detailed. The hair is what's it called? Like, kind of does a little bit, doesn't it? I mean, she has a very like black and gray color scheme, so, but yeah, no, I love them to pieces, and I was genuinely surprised at how, and they sit up on their own. Not a lot of plushes can do that, but of all the time it could have happened to happen on the doll stream. It's alright, Larry, don't worry. We still got plenty to go through, so you haven't missed very much. And there's always the VOD going back, but thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate all the support. These bells? Oh, the bells do jingle! You can just barely, hang on, you can just barely hear it. But yeah, I was very impressed with the quality of these dolls, and I wasn't expecting very much because they were both cheap. I think they were like $20 a piece. Like, I have bought lower quality plushes for quintuple that price, but these were really cheap and they're very high quality. I was extremely impressed. If Crush Crush ever comes up with more plushes and they're like this, you bet your ass I'm buying them. Because I may only casually be into the game, but if the plushes are this good, absolutely I want them. So, but yeah, this is Mio and Quill from Crush Crush. Don't look into the game too much. You won't see me the same anymore. This is my little 2B. She is very small. I found this. I also think this was from my comic shop. I think. I don't remember. This might have been from a different comic shop. I don't know. Thank you so much, Larry. I really appreciate the support. Oh, damn. Hi, Danny. Sorry. I was going live as soon as we hung up. Anyways, this is my little mini 2B. You know. I think this is another one that I found at my local comic shop, or I might have found it in a Walmart. I don't really remember. But, if you want, I don't know about this for sure, but I think that if you go to my Twitch page, then somewhere along there is a button you can press to explicitly turn on notifications, and maybe if you check, you can see if it's turned off, see if you can turn it back on. I'm not sure. Thanks again, Larry. I really appreciate the support. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So the funny thing about this plush, right, is I bought this because it was like small and cute and cheap and, you know, all of those other things. Fantastic. But there's occasionally I would go over to friends' houses when I was younger and like spend the night at their place because we were having, you know, a bros night out basically. Because, you know, like, what I used to think I was. But I would sometimes bring plushes with me because I just liked having them with me and they were comforting. Well, funnily enough, I brought 2B with me once, and pretty much everybody I know is a fan of Nier Automata. Like, we all know what it is and we all think it's cool, and they're all very supportive of me buying these, which is nice. I'm very lucky to have friends like that. But I would periodically, like, you know, let other people like mess with them because, you know, there's fun to have. And for whatever reason, somebody immediately like grabbed the plush like this by the back of the hair and stared off into space, and he was like, "This is very pleasant to hold." Everybody looked at him, and my friend David walked up. He's like, "There's no way that's true." And then David took the plush and he stared off into space. He's like, "This is very pleasant to hold." So like, my friends are dorks. But the problem is, this is very pleasant to hold, though. I'm like... So anyways, this is my very pleasant to hold 2B. Alright, here we go. Now we get back to Mario. There's more in here! Guys, there are plushes in this bag that I forgot I had. What the... Lord. Anyways, man of the hour, you were expecting it. This was a foregone conclusion. Mario, bitches! There was no way I didn't have a Mario plush. I just had to get to it, so Mario. Now, I'm also 90% sure this was another win from that same theme park, was having a Mario plushie. So, it's me, Mario. Big fan of this one. He's very soft. Thanks again for the 5 bits, though. I really appreciate it. Not much to say about this one. It's extremely soft and huggable. Like, this is the fluffiest plushie I think I own. But I like Mario. Like him a lot. Big fan of the series. Always have been. Another find from that same theme park. Not too much to say about it. But there we go. This is not a theme park find. This is another Amazon find, and I believe this is the Little Buddies collection. Yeah, this is the Little Buddies collection. I believe... Don't hurt yourself now, Danny. I appreciate you being here, though. Words. So this was another Amazon find, and I believe that Nintendo currently has a Little Buddies collection for a whole lot of different ones. Oh, you're getting a little preview there on the top cam there. But I have a Luigi. Of course I have a Luigi. Luigi's always been my favorite of the two. I've always been a Luigi person more than a Mario person. And this is from the Little Buddies line. So you can buy these on Amazon and probably GameStop as well. They're everywhere. They're not They're not hard to find, but I needed a Luigi, so I have a Luigi now. But yeah, Little Buddies I like because they're also very soft, and they're almost like Nintendo Beanie Babies, even though they're not Beanie Babies. But Luigi is greater than Mario. If you don't agree, then don't talk to me. Exactly. I'm glad I'm among friends here. Y'all have good taste. Also, hi, I'm Lex. Welcome, welcome. Hope you're having a fantastic evening. We're almost done. We're getting through it. Thank you so much, Shaggy. Take back that throne. That's what we like to see. I appreciate it. Thank you. Alright, so next one. To go with Luigi, obviously. Another one from the Little Buddies line. We definitely needed a Daisy. We can't have Luigi without Daisy, who is the best Mario princess. And y'all really need to cool it. Y'all need to. I really appreciate all the support, but you know, it's all right. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to do this for free. But thank you so much for the support. I really appreciate it. But yeah, I also really just wanted Mario Princess plushies in general, and I didn't want Peach because everyone knows Peach is lame. But Daisy is the best one, and if you're on Team Rosalina, I'm sorry, you're just wrong. And if you're on Team Pauline, come on, no one's on Team Pauline. But if you're on Team Rosalina, I'm sorry, but you're just not. So thank you so much, Shaggy. If I get my first hype train on my doll stream, I'm gonna just die. I'm not even gonna lie. But yeah, so we have a Daisy. I, again, would very much recommend the Little Buddies line if you're looking for Nintendo plushes, because they're all really, really good. Like, I'm very happy with this Daisy. It's very... I love it to pieces. I'm running out of things to say about these, because a lot of these are pretty basic. I just found them and bought them. I think this was an Amazon find, too. But you can also find these in physical stores. Thank you, Larry. I appreciate it. Y'all are gonna kill me with this. You know that? It's a good thing I don't have my fucking bitrate on. So yeah. Hi, I'm Daisy. Alright, moving on from Mario, but sticking with Nintendo. Behold! Curb! It's Kirby. He's the man that needs no introduction. He's perfect in every way. God damn it, Drill. Thank you so much, Shaggy. I really appreciate it. All right, give me a second. Let me double check. Let me double check how long that IRL word ban is. 5 minutes. Okay. Let me see if I can pull this off. Let's see. Timer. There we go. 5 minutes. All right. I will avoid saying the P word for the specified amount of time. Wish me luck. So, yes. Curb. Nothing else to say. He's perfect in every way. He's Curb. He do be Curbo. And he's the perfect character. So, I really appreciate all the support, y'all. Thank you so much. I can't ever begin to thank you and repay you for everything. God damn it. Thank you all so much. It really means a lot to me. God damn it, people! Y'all are the best. Thank you so much. Alright, so we have Kirby, but now more importantly, we have a little Waddle Dee. There we go. Again, another small one. I don't think this is Little Buddies. I don't think this is Little Buddies. This is not Little Buddies. This is Club Mochi Mochi, apparently. I'm not quite sure, but yeah. We have Waddle Dee. Little Waddle Dee. And he hang. Is that an orange Kirby? He's not an orange Kirby. He is, in fact, a Kirby enemy. insofar as Kirby games have enemies, or they just have, you know, other residents that Kirby eats because he's hungry. But this is a Waddle Dee. Waddle Dee also has a fan base because Waddle Dee is just a cute little creature. So, but yeah. Shaggy, I really appreciate all the support. Thank you so much. I'm sorry to drain all your bits. But it does mean a lot to me. Alright. So now we get into the slightly awkward ones, but ones that I still want to hold on to because there's a lot of sentimental value there and because they're quality that I really enjoy. So, thank you, Larry. I really appreciate it. I don't want to push this too hard, but if I can get one more person to, like, do something along those lines, that we can get a hype train going. Obviously, you don't have to. Happy to do all this content for free, but it would be interesting to have my first hype train on. On my doll stream, but don't worry, Danny. It's not gonna be that bad. Don't worry. I don't think I've said the word so far, right? I don't think I've said it. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and pause the timer real quick, and before I get into this, because there's like, this is going to be like the big finale, I do want to, yeah, I'm pausing the timer right now. I'm going to do the last two, and then I'm going to do the big finale, because I do have a big finale. But for now, I'm going to take another short break, another like maybe 2-3 minutes, and then I'll be right back to finish things up. And yeah, thank you all so much for coming. I will be right back. Thank you so much. And we are back. Thank you so much for being patient. I've taken care of what I need to take care of. So, we'll get through the last set. Oh, let me start the timer again. Alright, let me change back to... Let's go boink. There we go. Alright. Timer started again, so we'll avoid saying the P word. Alright, so the story behind these next two is essentially that they were... I don't want to say gifted to me, but we made them together, but they were given to me by an ex. And it's not somebody that I want, it's somebody that I ultimately decided I wasn't happy with, so it's like not something that I'm really harboring for, it's not something that I'm upset about, and there are memories that I really do cherish, which is why I still have these. I like being reminded of those times, even if I'm happy that they're ultimately over. But they have some sentimental value, they also have some somber undertones to them, but that's the context of these, is she was a big fan of going to Build-A-Bear Workshop, and at the time, we made these together. Toothless, if I can scooch it back, Toothless, and the White Fury. I think these were limited time Build-A-Bear exclusives, and we made these together, and I still have them, because, I don't know, I'm a big fan of the How to Train Your Dragon movies. I always have been, and when I saw these at the store, I just figured, hey, this is cute, let's do this. So, but that's mainly the big thing about these, and it's Build-A-Bear, so it's Build-A-Bear quality. It's nothing really, you know, too much to sneeze at, but yeah. I keep these around just because I like them. I think they're good quality plushes, so like, and it's Toothless and the White Fury, and they go together, so there's absolutely no reason not to hold on to them. I don't know if I said the word that entire time. If anyone was paying attention, please let me know. But the word plush is no longer banned, which is good. So, but yeah, so these are the ones, I like them because obviously they're just, I like them, but also they hold some sentimental value in that I do cherish my time with this person, even if I'm ultimately happy that we're not together anymore. So, but this is Toothless and the White Fury. Big fan of those. Now, getting into the big finale. The grand... Oh, shit! I forgot about a couple! Wait, we're not at the finale yet! Breaking news! We actually have a couple more! I'm like, I can't believe I forgot these! Okay, so, first of all, alright, before we get to the finale, first of all, this is a sorter... Bonus round, yes! This is a sorter bot. He can tell B's from threes. So, to explain this, this is merch from the YouTube channel, CGP Grey. If you're into edutainment content on YouTube, you've heard of CGP Grey. He's one of those fast-talking educational YouTubers who does silly animations, draws with stick figures, speaks in a very bland style that is humorous and educational and entertaining and whatnot. So, but he did an entire series on machine learning, where he explains machine learning, and it has these adorable little robots to represent machine learning algorithms, basically, and talks about, you know, like teaching a machine to tell the difference between a B and a 3. That's literally the example he uses. It's a silly example, but he gets the point across. And people love these little robot animations that he made so much that they've become recurring characters whenever he refers to bots or algorithms, and he made a whole ass plushie of the little sorter bot because it was just so cute. So I love these to pieces, and because I've been a fan of CGP Grey for a long time and have been following him, he made a plushie of the little sorter bot. I immediately bought it. It's a sorter bot. He can tell B's from threes. For the longest time, I had this plush as actually just like on my couch in the living room, like as a throw pillow almost, because it was a nice little decoration. I think it was really cute, and it's still a plush, but it's like unassuming enough and decorative enough that it's not like a doll just sitting out. It's more like just a little pillow, but an oddly shaped pillow. But I like it. It's a little sorter bot. He can tell B's from threes. And I can't believe I would ever forget this. But we also have... There we go. There we go. This is Nessie. Now, I said for the longest... I said it halfway through the stream that my Flander Fumo was the first plush I ever bought. That is technically true. However, this is probably the first plush I ever owned. Because I have had this snake plush since I was literally 6, I think. Like, I have had this snake plush. Oh my god, I've had this for 20 years. I'm just now realizing this. I've had this for 20 years. This snake holds a lot of sentimental value to me. I don't know if any of y'all know this. I'm afraid of the dark. I always have been. And whenever I'm like alone, I have a very vivid imagination. So I always picture like weird things happening to me in the night. More specifically, I have this always irrational fear of, you know how when you have your bed up against the wall, there's always this like just small space in between your mattress and the wall, right? Tiny little space, insignificant amount, but there's always this little shadow between the mattress and the wall. That scared the shit out of me, because I would always picture like weird things coming up from that crack and like reaching for me or grabbing me or hurting me. This snake always, basically my entire life, sat against the wall on my bed, covering up that crack. This snake, single-handedly, this is my bedtime guardian. This is the snake that keeps the boogeyman away. If I didn't have this snake, I would have been carried away by vampires or changelings years ago. Like, the Fae would have gotten to me if not for this snake. This Nessie right here is my bedtime guardian. I've actually had this snake for 20 years. That's insane to me. It's also, if I can slide off the table real quick, it's also, if I can slip under the, slip under the thing there. There we go. It's also a puppet. Hey, how's it going? What's up? Hiss. So it's got like, yeah, a fold under the neck there, so you can slip your hand in. It's a puppet. Instead of a hair whips, can I get a... Oh, you want hand whips? Okay. There you go. Hope that's doing it for you, Larry. But yeah, this is Nessie. And because I no longer have a single bed up against a wall, I now have a double bed in the middle of my bedroom. She no longer has a place to be. Like, she... Thank you so much, Larry. She no longer has a spot, so she unfortunately does now live in the closet with the rest of my plushes. But I always know that she's there to protect me. She's my bedtime guardian. I have had this snake for 20 years. I can't believe it. That's insane. That's actually insane. Alright, now... Fuck, there's one more! I keep finding more! They keep spontaneously generating. I forgot about this one too. God damn it! Okay, this one should actually be the last one, and then we can get to the grand finale. I forgot how cute this one was. But wait, there's more, exactly. Alright, this is actually the last, this is the last one, okay? I promise you, this is the last one, and then we get to the finale. So, this one is another YouTuber merch, actually. This is Molly from the YouTube series Epithet Erased by Jello Apocalypse. Go watch Epithet Erased. It's really, really good. It's a My Hero style superhero parody, almost. It takes place in a world where certain people have powers called epithets, and they have superpowers tied to a specific word. And these words can get a little wacky sometimes. This is Molly. She's the main character of the show. And her word is dumb. Like, her word is D-U-M-B, dumb. So she has superpowers related to the word dumb. You meet a character whose word is soup. You meet a character whose word is barrier. You meet a character whose word is parapet. Like, they get really creative with this. It's really interesting the way the world works, and has caused me and my friends to talk a lot about what interesting epithets are. Coal is a big one that I came up with. I'd love to see a character with an epithet of coal, because they would be a bitch to fight. And also paper would be a crazy epithet to have. Can you imagine superpowers based around the word paper? It's crazy. But I very strongly recommend go see Jello Apocalypse, watch Epithet Erased. It's only one season so far, and they're trying to get a season 2 made. But they put out this plushie of the main character, and I had to have it because I'm a huge fan of Epithet Erased. I have been for a while. And yeah, they made a Molly plushie. So, again, go watch Epithet Erased. It's very good. Okay. That's actually the last one. We've gotten through all of them. That is the entire collection, except for one thing. Now we're at the grand finale. Friends, colleagues, family members, I've been called extra before. Now, that means something a little different to different people. But overall, what you're about to witness is the pinnacle of me being extra. What you're about to witness is borderline unethical. I have to get up to go get this now. Excuse me for a moment. I'll be right back. I can't even move. I'm surrounded by plushies. So, I don't know if y'all can hear me, but I assure you, you are not ready for this. Here we go. Now then, brace yourselves, because this is the pinnacle of extra. This is my 48-inch Yukari plushie. This is a 4-foot-tall Yukari plushie. Am I ashamed to own this? Fuck no. I love this thing 2 pieces. So, I had a couple choices when it came to which plushie I wanted a 4-foot doll of. I chose Yukari because of the choices Yukari was the best one. But it's literally 4 foot tall. This is the size of a small person. I can't, hang on, let me see if I can't get the camera to like witness the full scope of this. Hang on. There we go. See? 4 feet tall. 4 foot Yukari, let's go, exactly. So that is my 4 foot tall Yukari plushie. Which again, I'm fairly certain is just bootleg. And Pigwing, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for stopping by. I am wrapping up right now. You're in the middle of the grand finale with my 4 foot tall Yukari plushie that I love to pieces. I can't even fit this thing on camera. It's so big. But remember how I showed you Big Reimu, who was 2 feet tall? I was looking for an even more huggable plushie. Behold, the 4 foot Yukari plushie. So, now that you know I own this, you are more than welcome to see me differently. I do not blame you. So, let's go ahead and put Yukari where she's not going to be in the way, which is not possible because her entire existence is in the way. we'll just go ahead and sit you here. That definitely won't backfire on me at all. As you slump over and... Okay, cool. Alright, so... we need a life-size Cerno plushie. That's the thing, is that, like, shorter characters, that is life-size. Like, that's not a life-size Yukari plushie, but it's close. Like... Alright, well, now that I've systematically destroyed my entire setup to make that reveal happen, that is my entire collection. I have now gone over with you everything that I own, all of the plushies I've collected over the years, a little bit of history about most of them, and yeah. Thank you all so much for coming. I was super excited about this. I will be uploading this entire VOD uncut to YouTube. Yes, I know I don't really use my YouTube channel very much anymore, but don't worry. This entire VOD will be up there uncut for anybody who wants to watch it. And of course, it'll be available here on Twitch as well. So if there's any part you missed or if you only got here at the end, not a problem. You can always go back and watch it there. If you're curious. But yeah, that is my collection. And I will continue to grow it, and I love collecting these things. I love these things to pieces. I'm extremely proud of this collection. It's only going to grow as time goes by, and I hope you realize that all of this money you're donating to me is so extremely appreciated and will go towards making this collection even bigger. Follow my Twitter if you want updates on my collection, because I will, starting today, I already do sometimes, but I will, starting today, post aggressive, just so aggressive posts yelling about more plushes that I may or may not be getting in the future. So every time I see one I like, I tend to just buy it. I've been broke recently because I'm still paying off my ceiling, so I haven't lately. But aside from this little guy is this was a recent impulse buy, but it was like $5. So, but yeah, so that's gonna be it for me. I've now done it. So, thank you all so much for coming. Thank you all so much for watching. And I'm going to go ahead and sign off now. This was so much fun. I gotta come with another community goal. Hopefully I can think of something fun. If anyone has any suggestions, please feel free to let me know. Yeah. I think that's about it. I'm going to go ahead and find somebody to raid real quick. Let me see. Doesn't seem like there is, which is unfortunate. Could have sworn someone was on like a second ago, but oh well. Either way. Plushie collection stream too when you make a pile of plushie for 2 hours. You know what? I might. Thank you so much, Larry. I really appreciate it. Next time... This is free content, people. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Y'all have a fantastic rest of your evening, and I will see y'all next time. Ciao for now.